Eagles win 2017 on the road in Arizona. Great game, bit of a nail biter. Um, this is the Bird Brothers. Welcome, two brothers in Ohio, lifelong Eagles fans. Ryan, we're gonna take this 15, 20 minutes, just kind of post-game reaction. I do
Yeah.
want to mention some things in the first quarter, not just the end of the game. I want to shout out a couple players that I think showed up that we mentioned actually in the pregame. So, Ryan, kick it off. What were your what do you think of how this game played out?
Um, I was happy. I was pretty happy with everything we did in the first quarter. We looked pretty good. We looked like we have looked. Um, for whatever reason, it seemed like we changed our game planning offensively. I felt like we stopped running the ball. We started getting too cute with screens. We threw so many screens, and we threw screens at the wrong times. Like Arizona did a good job of disguising blitzes. They loaded the box with 8 guys often, and then they would drop guys into coverage often. It seemed like they timed them very well. Every time we went to throw a screen, they weren't blitzing and they dropped off and they read it. We had some good plays early to Goddard, but as far as second quarter on, I feel like we didn't time, or either we didn't time correctly or they timed correctly. But we had the big play where they blitzed and we just kind of uh, ended up taking a sack because we didn't have a quick route. It's frustrating. And then I'm literally sitting here screaming, watching with our dad in my house, and I'm just sitting here like, why are we not running the ball? We got away from the run, and we're just like getting stagnant. And then we come out when we need to get downfield, and we just run the ball right down their throat. Could not stop us until that final third down, on that third and goal. And I don't love the play call. I think a little bit better of a throw. Kind of left Quez wide open up high for a hit. But in that situation, man, I want the ball thrown to AJ Brown.
He
I
was
want,
open too.
yeah, I don't care who's covering him. I want the ball thrown on a slant. I want AJ Brown on an island by himself. And if they double him, then we can find Goddard, find someone else. But I want AJ Brown on a slant because I know he's strong enough. He has the body position. That being said, my dad, our dad, as you know, is a big skeptic. And I'm just like, all right, dad. I was like, either way, we got the win. And he's like, yeah, but it looked like shit. I'm like, yeah, it did. We didn't look great. Really, I think from second quarter on, we had flashes, but we didn't look great. Um, it seemed like we saw a little bit of the old Gannon scheme. Like I just feel like we were like playing off, but we weren't blitzing. So it's like we're not bringing pressure. They're snapping off 4-yard slants to Hollywood Brown, which turn into 15-yard gains. And it's frustrating. I saw some flashes from Jordan Davis in the run game. I saw TJ Edwards made some plays. But in the end, overall, it's a win. I think the Arizona Cardinals are a good team. They're talented. They're settling in, and I think they'll be a playoff team. They're very fast. They're very athletic. So I think our best thing we could have done was run the football, just pound the football all game. And I mean, really, the third and one, fourth and one is unstoppable. If I'm at third and one, I'm doing 2 quarterback sneaks. If I get it on third down, I'm going for it. Same thing on fourth. But I don't want to go on a big rant because we do short episodes. But I overall, it's a win. A little sloppier than I wanted to see, but it's a W either.
What do you think specifically was sloppy?
I don't even want to say sloppy. I think they played the scheme the way they were taught to play the scheme. I don't like the bend don't break scheme. I think it's.
Oh, so you're referring like on defense specifically?
Yeah, I just feel like we weren't bringing blitzes. We brought a couple late. I feel like we should have brought blitzes throughout the whole game and got Kyler off his spot and just contain the edges. Like blitz off the edges or come off the edges and just kind of contain and blitz up the middle. He's gonna have nowhere to go. He's gonna have to make Edwards full speed miss or whoever miss, Kaiser White. I just feel like we played off as if we were getting as if we were like up by 30 and they have no time left. And then he just will literally catch the pass, immediately snap it for a 7-yard slant. And a lot of times we'd miss a tackle and it'd go for more. I think we did okay. We did good against the run. I was happy with that. But you can see at the end of the game, Jalen Hurts was our leading rusher in the late fourth quarter with like 59 yards. And that cannot happen. I'm okay with Jalen Hurts running the ball. I prefer he runs the ball here and there. It takes pressure off of him, but we need to give the ball to whatever running back is in the backfield. I don't want to say Miles Sanders because it doesn't matter to me who's in the backfield. But I just think not sloppy. Sloppy's probably not the right term, but we played what they wanted us to. But I don't like the bend don't break when you have good corners and you have athleticism. I'm a guy like I would rather you put Slay with Hollywood Brown on an island and press cover him and bring a blitz because they're literally going to have to just snap it and throw a Hail Mary to him. And I'll bet on Slay all day on stuff. So that's my thought. I say bring pressure on guys like that. Don't let him sit back there because if a guy comes off the edge and he sneaks up out of the pocket, he's taking us for 20 yards every time. So I don't know. I feel like we played different defensively. Maybe we overthought the Kyler Murray, his escapability and stuff like that. Because there were times where like you'd see him come off the edges and like Reddick didn't seem to be going full speed, almost like they're just coming off to just close in on him. But overall, again, we got the win, man. I'd like to see us be a little more aggressive on defense. Because if we do that with some of these top teams, I think we're gonna get picked apart.
Yeah. Yeah. So anytime you get a win in the NFL, it's a good win, And it's hard to win in the NFL. It's really hard. And when you're the last undefeated team, you get team's best efforts.
Oh yeah, you're getting everybody's best shot.
And we're on the road against a team that is talented. Last year they started off 8-0. They are talented. They've got a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. I did have a moment where I was like, we're getting into the screens too much. And then to go to play off of that, I thought, is this the team? And to the Eagles' credit, the screens were working early. When we did a couple Goddard screens, Goddard had a good game. Goddard looked really good. He made a lot of key plays. The screens were working early. We had one with Devontae Smith that worked. But I was like, is this the team you want to run screens against? Why did we think we could run screens? Is it because Byron Murphy's smaller and you could block him easier with a receiver? Did you think you could block these DBs? Because they're certainly fast.
They're very fast, yeah.
Isaiah Simmons, Budda Baker, he's fast and he's in the right spot at the right time. So, they're a fast defense. And I'm thinking, why are you trying to stretch them, vertically?
Right.
Why aren't we just going north and south with the number one running attack in the league?
Yeah.
And at the end, we did that. We got the ball with 6 minutes, dude. And we took all the way down to 1:40 seconds.
We got the ball with, I think, 9 minutes.
Was it 9?
Yeah. Well, I might be wrong.
Dude, but that is so powerful. That is a sign of a good team. And out of all the Eagles teams I've watched over the years, even the Andy Reid days, we were never really – the only time I can recall us being able to close out a game with the running attack was 2017. Yeah. We'd pound it with LeGarrette Blount, and we seemed to just finish games, and we would chew up that 4-minute offense.
Yeah.
I've seen us do that at least twice this year. 2 or 3 times we've done that. And so we have that capability, which is awesome to see because it means if we get the lead and we go into that running mode, man, we're hard to stop, even when you know it's coming.
Yeah, you can't stop. Which is that it kind of got me frustrated because you see them come out and they're like, all right, we need to just get downfield. Let's get some points. It's a tie ball game. Let's run as much clock as we can. And it's like they couldn't do anything to stop us. We literally just over and over, hand the ball off, have a guard pull, lay a block 5 yards, 6 yards, 10 yards. And I looked at it as, it's amazing to be able to do that. You can close games, but why are we not doing that earlier? If they can't stop it, what they can stop and what we can hurt ourselves on is coming out. There was literally a possession where we threw 3 screens in a row.
I think that was on 3rd down, Devontae Smith caught a screen and was he the wrong?
Yeah, he went the wrong direction.
It looked like he was kind of pissed off or frustrated about the play call.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it would have. I don't know that I because you can't see so much on watching on TV, but he definitely went the wrong direction. Quez laid a block and pushed him in that direction, Murphy in that direction. So Quez or Smith's supposed to catch it and go underneath. And it might have actually worked, but he kind of caught it and then went to go out for some reason. You could tell Quez was frustrated, but I still too many screens, man. I still think it's way too many screens for a fast defense. I'm not scared of their defensive line. I know JJ Watt is JJ Watt, but he's not what he used to be. He's not his brother. He's not in his prime anymore. He's still a good pass rusher. But I'm fine with, just chipping him here and there. I figured he'd be going against Dickerson. But I think we maybe just overthought the process, overthought our offense game plan, defensive. Like we got almost like scared to give up this massive play to Hollywood Brown. It's like, man, we gave up. Like we're playing bend but don't break, but we're giving like we had like 3 plays in a row where it was like 14 yards, 21 yards, 12 yards. And it's like, okay, Darius Slay's 12 yards off the ball. We're not bringing pressure. We're not really going after Kyler Murray. We're almost trying to contain him. And it's just frustrating. I think that would be, I mean, again, I'm not a head coach or a coordinator or anything like that. But in my head, I think it'd be best play press coverage with our corners. Obviously, it depends on who your corners are, but play press coverage and bring pressure. Like, I don't care how athletic he is. If he has TJ Edwards come up the edge, Brandon Graham and Reddick coming out, or Sweat or whoever coming off the sides, it's very hard to escape. And then you have Hargrave, Williams, Jordan Davis, Fletch, all in the middle, whoever's in. Like, I think that would have been the best game plan. And that's how I would play Lamar. That's how I would play all these mobile quarterbacks. I think our corners are good enough to do that. I don't know. That's what I think we should have done. I think we gave up way too many 10-yard slants for no reason.
Yeah. So what's interesting is I think that if I were going to try to beat, I think if I would try to attack Lamar or Kyler Murray, I think Kyler Murray is the better passer of the two. But I would want him having to thread the needle, throwing the ball in man-to-man coverage.
Right.
But the thing is, when you play man-to-man, the corners get their backs turned. So Kyler has that escapability. And then the other thing is playing man-to-man against this team specifically, Hollywood Brown, Rondale Moore, they can, like Hollywood Brown, I would assume, can flat out outrun everybody on our team. And Slay is fast, but I think, it's different running 40s and
Right.
but because you get to anticipate and stuff. But I can see where like the Cardinals are struggling. Like you don't want to give them any easy points, right? And so you don't want to let Rondale Moore, if you're playing press man and like you get smoked, and he does this loft the moon shot, which Kyler was good against the blitz. When we did bring it, like our blitzes weren't getting home. He got out of the ball. He got the ball out quick. So I want to rattle off a couple people I want to mention. And then, because I know the Eagles players, they tune into this. So I want to give them some shout outs. By the way, guys, I think, we started our brother YouTube channel about the Eagles before Jason and Travis. And they got 80,000 subscribers. So like you need to help us catch up, man. Like share this channel. So I want to shout out Jordan Davis, made some plays. Nothing, miraculous, but I love that he's making some plays. I'm seeing some positives because long-term Eagles fan, I want to know, did we hit on our first round pick?
Right.
And he's making some plays. So I'm excited about him. Goddard had a great game. Josiah Scott made a couple really good plays early in the game. I think in the first quarter, he made some good plays that impressed me. And that's good to see him kind of ascending and ticking up because you really only get better if you play.
Yeah.
So, and I know he's runs a 4.3, very athletic, very quick. So happy to see him. Also, his brother is an insurance agent here in Ohio, which that's what I do. I'm an insurance agent. So, me and Josiah are tight. Gardner Johnson, we mentioned him. He made some plays, man. He had an interception. He had a pass break or a great tackle on Rondale Moore early in the game for a loss. So, a couple things. Our blitzes weren't getting home. I just mentioned. AJ Brown was practically a non-factor. Don't like that. Now
Yeah.
maybe they were doubling him. I don't know, but it seemed like they were bringing a lot of pressure frequently, meaning he couldn't have been doubled.
Right.
So if I'm gonna like, I don't did how many catches did AJ Brown have? 1, 2, 3? I don't even remember one specifically.
I mean, no, I don't really either, to be honest. I know he had he had one. He had one like a comeback on the left side early on, like first series. I want to say maybe 2 catches. I don't think it was much. Devontae played well. Quez, I don't know. I don't know why he's not being involved more. Whether he's not getting open. Maybe we should run with more of a Pascal scheme, and then bring him into stretch the defense. I don't know, but it is a little frustrating. We've kind of done that theme though. We've kind of saw week 1 it was AJ Brown, and then Devontae had a big game. AJ Brown slid back a little bit, and then it's back to AJ Brown, and now it kind of seems like it's one or the other. So I'd like to see us spread the ball around a little more, maybe be a little more balanced. But I still think the bread and butter of this team is running the football, and that will open up the pass, especially against a team that's bringing pressure. And I think they were just bringing pressure because they weren't confident in their coverage skills. I think they were just trying to get pressure to see what Jalen does, see if, maybe they weren't confident, like I said, in their coverage. So they're just trying to load the box because there were 8 guys in the box so much. Now, whether they blitzed or not was, hit or miss. They would drop into coverage, but I don't know that we did a very good job of reading that. We didn't do a very good job of timing. I know that one game we timed blitzes really well. Gannon was phenomenal in timing blitzes. I think it was the Vikings.
Yeah.
So we'll settle in. But again, the Cardinals are a good team. We got Dallas Sunday night this week or this coming week.
Yeah.
So they look good. They look pretty solid, man. I do think the Rams. I keep waiting for the Rams to settle in and be what we saw last year. Their line is awful. I mean, I know Micah Parsons is like he's a dog. The guy's good. He's legit. Leads the league in sacks, but
He's the best edge rusher in the league, man.
Yeah, but Stafford's running for his life the whole game, up the middle. Like they couldn't stop anything. It's basically just throw up a prayer to Cooper Kupp here and there, and I think Kupp took one for like 60 yards and a touchdown. Their running game's non-existent. I think they lost like 3 linemen, if I'm not mistaken. It might have just been 2, but yeah, their line, they didn't do anything to help Stafford offensively on the line. So curious how they settle in, but
yeah,
I was surprised though. I thought Dallas would lose that one. But they aren't playing like they're not coming out here and lighting the world on fire. They're literally just running the ball well, and they're getting pressure on the quarterback.
Their defense is talented.
Yeah.
Primarily I think their corners are probably better than what I thought. But their pass rush is great. Lawrence and Parsons is probably the best duo. And it's like Lawrence was really good a couple years ago, and people kind of questioned, well, does he still have it? Sometimes, like, those type of guys just need a fire lit under them. And perhaps Micah Parsons playing at this level just lit a fire in him, or made him believe that they could get to the quarterback more frequently.
Right.
Maybe he's having an up year. And I think I would kind of call that – I kind of think that's happening in Philly with James Bradberry. Some people were not really big fans of the Bradberry, or they were like the Bradberry move, but they said, well, he was good a couple years ago, but then last year he wasn't that good. And now he's on a winning team opposite Darius Slay. We're winning. You know what I mean? Bradberry's looking fucking amazing.
Yeah.
He's played great. He's been so solid. He's made a lot of plays. In this era in the NFL, it's hard to get pass breakups. Yeah. And I've seen him make multiple. Interception. 2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown. Yeah. So here's the last thing I want to talk about, man. And then I'll ask you, what do you think? And this wasn't planned, but I think the Eagles' biggest problem right now, where I see an issue, I think we can run the ball great. I think we have talent. The defense worries me sometimes, a little bit. I think it also has to do. I think Avonte Maddox. I think we're missing Avonte Maddox
Yeah, for sure.
more than some would like to admit. So I think that matters quite a bit. But I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing that I worry about teams are. It seems like the trend is to blitz Jalen Hurts,
Yeah.
and we now, to Jalen's credit, he stood in there. He made a very good throw to Dallas Goedert over the middle at the end of the game on 3rd and 11.
Yeah.
Goedert broke a tackle, got the first down. Like we made it happen. He drove us down the field, mainly running the ball. Made a big time throw, 3rd and 11 in the fourth quarter when it matters. Kudos to Jalen. But there's a lot more times where they're blitzing us and we don't seem to have an answer.
Yeah.
When we blitz Kyler Murray, he has a 4-yard out route. Rondell Moore, like we couldn't get to him. That's what you want. Like you want teams to blitz you, and then you want to frustrate the hell out of them because it's just like boom, boom, boom. Like you have to have an answer. And I was watching the Breaking the Birds, and he talks about this. The guy that breaks down the Birds film, that's a YouTube channel. Um, he says it seems like there's not hot routes built into the scheme,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's our biggest problem right now, man. Like,
Have you? So one thing I've noticed is this game specifically, we went away from the RPO, and I don't know if that's because of the penalties, the illegal man down, or like an eligible receiver downfield. I don't know if that's why we went away from it, but the RPO works, and it's worked very well for us. It helps us run the ball. We didn't do that against this team. I'm thinking maybe they expected pressure, like blitzes and things, so they probably dialed up a lot of these screens. Maybe that's the check down. If you think there's going to be pressure, then just drop a screen. But we can't drop 15 screens a game.
that's the blitz beater, right?
Right.
You're gonna blitz us quick out, on time, accurate to AJ Brown, to Devontae Smith. Yeah, like that should scare you if you're a defense.
Right.
What's interesting is how many screens we ran, and I don't, and I didn't. I'd have to go back and look at like the game tape, I guess, but it just seemed like a lot of their blitzes were successful.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like we ever caught them blitzing and we had like a big break for a screen.
Right.
So it's just kind of weird. As many screens as we threw and as many blitzes as it seemed like they were bringing, like we never really caught them
Right.
horribly out of position.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of the same way. I think Maddox is a big factor. It's one of those things that you're like, oh, we'll be fine because we have good corners, but then you do some bad things and you don't cover as well, and you're like, you don't really think about it until you stop. And you're like, oh, we don't have Maddox. Like I think Maddox is one of the top nickel corners in the league. And nickel corners don't get a lot of recognition. They it's all outside guys. The Jalen Ramsey, Slays, these guys get all the publicity. It's kind of like edge rushers and interior defensive linemen. But nickel corners are huge. They cover a lot of tight ends. The guys like Rondell Moore on the 4-yard outs. Like how many of those plays would have been broken up, or Rondell's not going to catch it and go 6 yards up the field. He's going to catch it and get tackled immediately for a gain of 2.
Yeah.
So that's a big factor. But I do think we need to get back to the RPO, get back to just I mean, I've said it 10 times already. Just run the ball, man. Like just run the football. We're very good at it. Like offensive linemen love that type of scheme when you're just I mean, think about it. If you have to stop and sit back and hold your ground, or if you just go downfield, I just have to go forward. Like I'm going to knock my guy back.
And also, man, you got to wonder, we came into the game without Mailata.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that means you abandon the run, but we come into the game without Mailata. Dickerson leaves the game. Kelsey leaves the game. Maybe that was a reason for the uptick in screens.
Right.
Maybe. We'll have to see. Well, if we watch Nick Sirianni's press conference, maybe he'll say, well, we had some injuries on the offensive line, so we felt that the screen game, we thought maybe that they would blitz,
Right.
make us pick up blitzes because of the backups that we're in, and we thought we could catch them with a screen. and it didn't happen. Um, but I feel like overall, I feel like Jalen's passing has kind of like leveled off a little bit the
Yeah.
last two games. Jacksonville, lot of weather, so you really can't
Yeah.
put a whole lot of stock into that. But um, Arizona's a good team, man.
Yeah.
Jalen won the game. Jalen made plays when he had to make plays. Um, I know Devontae dropped one on a
Yeah.
comeback, 12-yard comeback. Um, last play of the game, I 100% agree with you. Um, that should have been to AJ Brown. AJ Brown was actually open. Watkins was in the end zone, but AJ Brown's a big boy,
Yeah.
and he had 2 yards to go. We had 3 timeouts.
I think that ball needs to, I mean, the ball's a little lower too. Like it's like Quez has a way better chance of bringing it in. The ball's thrown over his head. He's up in the air and he collides with Byron Murphy. Also, I don't like the clutter.
Yeah,
If
but
you're
like he's on the run, so it's kind of hard to like here or
right,
here,
right. No, I get
stuff.
that. I think the
But
clutter it
but if
too.
you hit Brown,
Yeah,
you remember Brown, like they're both running crossing routes. It looked weird. Like it looked like usually you don't have two receivers that close together.
right,
I'm surprised. Maybe he was trying to throw to Brown and sailed it a bit. I don't know because
right.
if you look at the field, it's like AJ Brown. If I'm look now, maybe there's a defender that was there that I couldn't see. But number one, it's like you're paying AJ Brown 100 million. AJ Brown's 225.
Right.
Let's throw him the ball. Quez Watkins had like one catch, and he's a good player. I like Quez Watkins, but like that, like you said, that's who you throw to. Like you remember what Devontae Smith did, like last week or the week before versus
Right.
Washington, when you
Yeah.
threw the ball up to him, like Watkins would be the fourth option for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Did you see the part where when they called that play, Hurts on the sideline, you see it was Steichen called the play, and Hurts kind of like started to go and stopped and looked at him, and he said, you see Steichen, like you can read his lips say, he says, "Trust me." He's like, "Trust me, trust me," and Jalen's like, and goes out, and
Oh, I didn't
obviously,
see that.
yeah, I thought it. We were watching, and I was like, "Do you see that?" And he's like, "Huh?" Which I don't know. I'll say something I'm like, "Oh, it's a hold," and Doug's like, "Where?" I'm like, left tackle got ripped down, but stuff like that. But yeah, I saw that, and then I agree. It's got to go to AJ Brown. And if you don't want to go to AJ Brown, don't have Dallas Goedert run a comeback where the ball's going.
And
Dallas Goedert 3
maybe
yards.
Steichen is anticipating AJ Brown's going to get doubled.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like, okay, well then throw it to Devontae.
Yeah.
Or throw to Goddard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get maybe the element of surprise, but that's like kind of the definition of getting too cute. Like
We got way
like
too
the
cute.
Seattle Seahawks, bro, in the Super Bowl on the 1 yard line. They've got Marshawn Lynch.
Yep.
And you want to get cute and throw a quick slant.
Right.
When you could have just snuck. QB sneak, Marshawn Lynch. Any final thoughts, man? A win is a win. The Eagles are 5-0. I know the last time they were 4-0 was 2004.
Oh, yeah, this is the first time. This is the first time in franchise history
that we've been 5-0.
Yeah, they said it. In franchise history, it's the first time we've ever started 5-0.
I thought we were 6-0 one time.
I mean, unless I don't know, maybe they were talking about a different. I don't know, but I think I know that's what they said because I remember Dad bringing it up. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know that." Which I knew the 4-0 was the Super Bowl, the 2004 run. But yeah, I as far as I know, that's what they said.
Yeah, man, 5-0. I'm trying to look up that.
I watched. Did you see the Jalen Hurts presser after? Not really press conference, but on the field, and he talked to someone.
No, what'd he say?
They said, "What do you contribute your growth and your progression to?" He's like, "Oh, this isn't about me." He's like, "It's team win." He's like, we got the job done. We're 1-0 this week. He's like, but a lot of room to grow. He's like, we left a lot on the table. We didn't, just kind of. I like that he doesn't take credit. He doesn't come out here and say, I contributed to my hard work in the gym, like this, that, the other. Like he just, oh, it's not about me. Yeah, it's a team win. And every time they
Like
ask him,
he could have said, I'm a fucking soldier.
yeah, could have yelled that. Yeah.
By the way, Eagles 2004, they started off 7-0.
Hmm.
Then they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I watched it at Joe Deerfield's house. For those of you who know who Joe Deerfield is, um, but yeah, we lost to. We beat the Giants, Vikings, Lions, Bears, Panthers, Browns, Ravens. Then we lost in Pittsburgh. Then we beat the Cowboys 49-21. Sounds like this week. That's what's gonna happen.
I hope we come out and slaughter, man.
Yeah, Micah Parsons is their like best player.
He's their savior, man.
Huh?
He's their savior for that defensive line.
Yeah. Is Mailata gonna play? That's very important now.
I would say so, man, because it seemed like he was kind of a question mark this week. Like they were considering this week, but they decided to go without. I hope we're fully healthy. We get Maddox and Mailata back, and we can face them. I am curious though. This whole Cooper Rush and Dak thing. We can talk about that on another episode. Like, there's a lot of people that think Cooper Rush should stay in as the starter when Dak comes back. He's played. I know. He's played.
Cooper Rush. You know how many yards he threw for today?
104.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's literally.
You know how many millions Dak Prescott makes?
Oh, I know. I think it's
as many millions as Cooper Rush threw for yards today.
Right. No, I get it.
Like, money gets on the field, bro. Cooper Rush,
he's not
going for 450, shredding defenses like 350, 400 yards. Like Dak would still play.
Right.
He's $100 million.
No, I talked to the guy,
right?
Cowboys fan, talking about it. And he's like, "Oh, Cooper Rush he's pretty solid," and I'm like, you guys are sacking the quarterback 7 times a game, and you're running the ball for 160 yards a game.
I'm excited to see that, dude, because this is what I want to see. I want to see our first round draft pick. So this week, big boy, that's what I call him. Every time Jordan Davis in there, I'm like, look, there's the big boy. Big boy should be in the game a lot this week, bro.
Yeah.
I just looked at their stats. I don't know how many rush attempts they had, but I think Zeke had 20 plus carries. Pollard had like 14 or 18 carries, and Cooper Rush threw for 100 yards.
Right.
So like literally they're just running the ball at will. Cooper Rush is doing nothing.
Yeah, they're playing good defense, and he's just being efficient. He's not turning the ball over. He's just coming in, and which props to him. He's doing what he's being asked to do. But I was talking to him about that. I was like, I hope you guys do. I hope you guys cut Dak Prescott. I hope you guys. They were like, yeah. I hope Jerry Jones steps in and says Cooper Rush is the guy, and we're going to trade Dak. And I was like, because I would laugh hysterically, because you'll never be able to. I don't care how good your defense is in this day and age. If you throw for 100 yards, you cannot maintain points with some of these teams. You're not going to score enough points. And their defense has played very well. I'll say that. But if teams can find out a way to slow Parsons down, or you have a good tackle and you can chip him or run the football with Parsons flying off the edge, just run the damn ball up the middle.
Yeah, Parsons is 240 pounds, man.
Yeah.
Run the ball right at him. Let Lane Johnson drive him backwards. Let Mailata drive him backwards. Landon Dickerson, run the ball. Yeah. Don't put it in harm's way. Don't do long, deep. Don't try to shoot the ball down the field, man. Like, unless you're gonna seriously chip him, keep a running back in, because that's how you lose to Dallas, man. I think is if you try to be aggressive, push the ball downfield, and you're not chipping and keeping a back in against Parsons, like we've got tackles that can match up as good as anybody else does.
Right. Yeah, he's a stud.
You don't want strip sacks on your own side of the field. You don't want to give Dallas easy points. Like, on the road, are we in Philly or in Dallas?
In Philly, first one.
Okay, so we'll be in Philly. I mean, we should beat them. They've got their backup quarterback, man. We should beat them.
Good.
So, all right. Did I already ask you for final thoughts? We would do that.
Yeah, we kind of just. I mean, yeah, not a whole lot more to say about it, man. I hope we sharpen up a little bit, and I don't. The bend don't break. I don't like. I'd like to see us get a little more aggressive. I think we have the talent to do so. I think that's a scheme that you run if you have like last year. We have one. We're not confident in our linebacker coverage. We have Darius Slay, but they're just sending their receivers to the opposite side of the field. Now we have good corners. We get Maddox back. Maybe that's why we didn't blitz as much because we didn't have Maddox. Hopefully, I hope we come out and we're aggressive. And there's no quarterback in the league I think we should come after more than Cooper Rush. You know what I mean? Like the guy's thrown the ball like what 70 times in 4 games. Like we need to come after him. I'm not scared of Zeke. Pollard's a stud. I like Pollard. But Zeke's just a downhill back, and we do well against those guys. Pollard, it scares me a little bit more because he's a kind of, get the ball outside, halfback toss, screens to him, stuff like that. Short underneath stuff. He's a playmaker. Zeke, I think, just I don't think we need to load the box with what we have, but I do want to bring some pressure.
Yeah, mine's well. I mean, I don't think because we've got the corners to match up, and I don't think Cooper Rush is gonna, beat us through the air. So you put Slay or Bradbury on CD Lamb. That's a good matchup. Either way you look at it. Don't know who else they have making plays. Is Gallup out?
Yeah, Gallup's back.
Okay, Gallup's back.
Yeah, Gallup, Noah Brown. I don't know if Dalton Schultz played this week or not, but he's pretty solid.
Yeah. So the way I would go up against him is take away the run.
Yeah, for sure.
Make him beat you through the air. Make him prove it. Make him do the hard thing. So, all right, guys. Hey, this has been another episode of the Bird Brothers. Please like, subscribe, comment below. We appreciate all the support. Tell Jason and Travis to maybe schedule a podcast or a YouTube video with us. That would help these two brothers in Ohio get their subs up. All right, guys. Eagles 5-0. Fired up. See you next week.